In today's Leeds news, Gudmundsson deal agreed, Sean Longstaff bid, Anton's Stach approached made, Leeds sign up under 21 players, formal application for Elland Road submitted, and today's rumour mill stories around Callum Wilson and Jack Harrison. Morning folks, welcome back to The View. Tuesday morning, the 8th of July with your Leeds United news. It's been a busy 24 hours. We said yesterday that it just felt like this week was going to pick up pace a bit when it came to the transfer window. We've seen the players back in doing their testing and their lovely new Leeds United training kits yesterday. Likely to have a Swedish international floating around there as well. And a lot of talk last night around potential moves that Leeds have started to make around key positions in the starting 11 for next season. We'll start off with one of those who now looks like it's been confirmed. But as mentioned yesterday, Gabriel Gudmundsson had flown into Leeds over the weekend to finalise the last few bits and pieces on his deal, as well as take part in his medical. Last night we got the confirmation that we've all been waiting on. The Yorkshire Evening Post, Sky Sports and Florian Plettenberg have all confirmed that Gudmundsson has agreed a deal to join Leeds United, and Leeds United and Lille have agreed a fee for the player. Gudmundsson will become Leeds United's fourth summer signing when he is announced, and is rumoured to be signing a 4-year deal at the club. Leeds will pay Lille a reported £10 million fee, which represents good value for a Swedish international with European football experience. Gudmundsson joins Leeds at 26 years of age, so has plenty of room for growth over the next couple of years, and has over 100 league appearances under his belt, as well as Champions League experience and Europa Conference League experience, so no slouch by any stretch of the imagination. Gudmundsson will join up with the side. We're still waiting on the formal announcement from Leeds United, but it all appears to be done and dusted, and we'll get the finer detail on this contract once Leeds do announce that to the press. But Gudmundsson may be joined pretty swiftly by signing number 5 if reports last night are to be believed. Late last night, David Ornstein at The Athletic broke an exclusive on Sean Longstaff to Leeds United that could be getting very, very close. According to Ornstein, Leeds United have already had 2 bids rejected for the Newcastle United central midfielder and have one final bid on the table in an attempt to get a deal done. Leeds' latest bid is said to be a £10 million bid with £2 million on add-ons. And Ornstein does point out, though, at this point, and this is the bit that's not being talked about online right now, at the time of recording this, so 10:40, Leeds haven't received a response from Newcastle just yet, so this isn't as imminent as some people are making out online. But by the time you watch this, it could be very much well on its way to being done. The Athletic also state that Leeds and Longstaff have already agreed personal terms, and Leeds are looking to add Premier League experience to the spine of this side, and Longstaff adds that in abundance. There are the usual people who will be slightly underwhelmed by the signing of a Sean Longstaff. I think if his second name was De Silva, it might be a little bit different, but if you look at what he has done, he has 2 fourth place finishes with Newcastle United, one where he was very much a starter on that side and one where he played a very, very big part in it off the bench and starting games. He's got Champions League experience and 2 cup finals under his belt, as well as a pretty exemplary injury record. Longstaff has 171 Premier League appearances under his belt. He has Champions League experience and scored against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League as well. He's also a homegrown player and knows his way around the Premier League pretty well. Longstaff is described as a high-energy box-to-box 8, which very much suits the style of player that Daniel Farke wants to bring in. It suits Farke's pressing style as well. And Longstaff's passing stats are always in the high-end 80% accurate bracket, as well as having very strong stats on his duels in the midfield, so he's very capable of mixing it up on the physical side of things. At 27 years of age and 6'1" in height, he very much ticks the box of what the 49ers are looking to add to the team this season. And although at the time of recording this video it's not a done deal just yet, hopefully if Newcastle do agree to the deal, this one could move very, very quickly, and we're just then looking at Longstaff heading down to Yorkshire and getting his medical done, and that one could be done this week should Newcastle agree to the deal. Again, not spending a huge amount of money on this, but getting a player in who is, again, I've been saying it for a while now, probably not the sexiest signing in the world, but a very, very solid and sensible signing for what Leeds are trying to do. Remember, Leeds are trying to get to 15th, 17th in this table this year, hold their position in the Premier League for another year, and then add again to that. So In terms of stepping blocks, he's very much an upgrade on what we had in there last year with Joe Rothwell. A lot more Premier League experience. So, again, as I say, the name Longstaff tends to dictate how people feel about him. But I think if his name was De Silva, it'd be a very different approach. But for me, personally, I think it's a very sensible signing and a very good signing for Leeds United, and could be one in the future that could add more experience around the place as well if Leeds do decide to upgrade that, become part of the squad as well. But let's move on. Let's talk about another midfield approach that was made last night. And if Longstaff fills that box-to-box 8 position for Leeds, they will still need to bring in an upgrade in the number 6 position, and another central defensive midfielder will be needed as part of this squad. Anton Stach at Hoffenheim has been repeatedly linked with Leeds United over the past couple of weeks, and we know from all the reports that we got that this won't be a quick deal and will take some time. But last night, Leeds United appeared to make their move on Stach. According to Florian Plettenberg, he says that Leeds United last night made contact with Hoffenheim to begin negotiations around the deal to bring in Stach. Plettenberg says that there is no official offer on the table at this point, but that Leeds are checking the valuation of the player as well as the terms around the potential deal with his representatives before weighing up the option and then putting in a bid for the player. Sky Sports Germany have also shared this information and also say that there is more interest expected in Stach, and Leeds at this point could be trying to jump ahead of other rivals for the signature of the midfielder. The other side to this is Leeds could be very much throwing their net out nice and wide and getting lots of names out there and players they're potentially interested in order to guarantee themselves to get one of their midfield targets. But that doesn't mean that Longstaff and Stach are competing for that same position. They are very, very different profiles of players. Sean Longstaff fills that box-to-box high-energy number 8 position, whereas Anton Stach is very much an out-and-out central defensive midfielder, a 6, and primarily a 6. So I don't think it's one or the other. I think if these happen, it's both of them. Leeds will need an upgrade there. Then the question marks will come down around, well, what is the future of Ilya Gruev like? Does he move away from the club? Because for me, Stach would be seen as an upgrade on Gruev and give Leeds more competition in that space. If you look at what Leeds have done in the central defensive positions, they've got 2 defenders now in both centre-back positions, offering competition and cover for the Premier League season. Leeds are now potentially looking at doing the exact same in the central midfield options with the likes of Ampadu and Longstaff and Tanaka and Stach in those positions. And then you question whether Gruev sticks around or not. But there is and has been interest in Gruev in Germany for quite some time. So yeah, an interesting one to keep an eye on over the next couple of days. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about an underage signing at the club. And as per Fabrizio Romano yesterday, Leeds United's academy recruitment team having a busy summer as well as they look to restock the under-21s after key players left over the past couple of weeks. Leeds lost Max McFadden and Oliver Boast both to Tottenham Hotspur, and the under-21s need some new additions. According to Romano, he states that Leeds United have agreed a deal to sign Manchester City's 17-year-old player Jayden Linu for £500,000. Linu is expected to join up with the Leeds United Academy and be part of the under-21 setup next season. And Linu spent just 1 year at City as they took him from Everton's academy in a very similar fashion to how they took Finlay Gorman from Leeds about 12 months ago. Linu is a left-sided set defender, Welsh in nationality, and has been capped by the Welsh under-18 side as well. But he's not the only academy player being brought in at the minute. Another name coming in, this one from Joe Donoghue, is Liverpool teenager Lucas Enoro Marcus. Donoghue says that Leeds are close to signing the 18-year-old defender who left Liverpool at the end of last season. The under-21s need to add more central defensive cover as Chris Moore signed for Greenock Morton. James DeBoya, when he signs his new deal, is expected to move out on loan next season, as well as Diego Monteiro, who's also expected to move out on loan this season for his development, which means Leeds need to reinforce those central defensive positions, and it looks like they're trying to do it with these. Leeds are also expected to announce the signing of Nigerian player Leonard Njenje, who we talked about last year when Leeds made their moves for him as part of one of the academies that they looked at. They can't sign him until he turns 18, so that's expected to go through soon once his 18th birthday comes around. So the restock of the Leeds United under-21 side continues this summer. It's a bit of an overhaul, but it was needed. But this is a very young Leeds under-21 side. Most of these players are under the age of 19, so it's an exciting bunch of players, and we'll see where they go in the next couple of years. But the older ones will go out on loan. The younger ones need to establish themselves and get up to speed as soon as they can. Let's move on. Let's talk about a non-transfer related story for a little bit of a change. And let's talk about Elland Road. Leeds United have submitted their final planning application for the Elland Road redevelopment to the Leeds City Council and are hopeful of a decision being made within the next 13 weeks. The club state that they have a 98% approval for the overall plans from who responded to their initial consultation questionnaire. First phase of the plan will be the development of the John Charles stand, which to increase the capacity from 8,000 seats to 17,750 seats. Second phase of it will then be to increase the Don Revy stand, the COP, and increase that capacity as well. And Leeds expect a decision on this application by October 7th, as it moves into its final approval phase. To remind everybody on this as well, that we know stands knocked. They're doing this very much in a similar fashion to how Liverpool did their redevelopment by building the new stands around the existing ones before they then knocked them down and build in. And it should also be pointed out at this stage, of all the false starts we've had with Elland Road over the years and previous ownerships promising redevelopment to the ground, this is the furthest Leeds have ever gotten in this redevelopment of Elland Road, and will be a big step forward for the club should they get the approval. But they're full steam ahead. Plan is for shovels in the ground by the end of this season. We don't know if relegation would have an impact on that, but let's not worry about that, and let's assume Leeds United will be fine in the Premier League next season. Let's move into the rumour mill territory and some stories from the back pages to take them with a little pinch of salt with your chips today. And I'll give you the detail and you can decide whether you believe these or not. And we'll start off with Newcastle striker Callum Wilson. Wilson has been linked repeatedly with a move to Leeds United over the course of this summer, but he was offered a 1-year extension by Newcastle United, who wanted to keep him at the club and offer competition in their striking positions. But as of yesterday, Wilson has rejected that offer and has decided to seek a new challenge elsewhere. Despite Wilson having some injury concerns, and it will be brought up in the comments no doubt, he has been injury free since February of this year, and Wilson would add serious experience at the age of 33 and being a Premier League stalwart over the past 10 years. Whether he would be a top target for Leeds United or seen as a backup option should they not get their target remains to be seen at this point, but there's a hell of a lot of noise around Callum Wilson right now. We'll see where this one goes, but I wouldn't rule this one out by any stretch of the imagination. It's, as I say, a lot of noise banging around about Callum Wilson right now, but we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Let's talk about Jack Harrison and a few more rumours doing the rounds that may mean a return to Everton could be on the cards for Jack Harrison next season on a permanent deal, or maybe even another loan deal, depending on who you believe. David Moyes is rumoured to be in favour of a return of Harrison to the club next season, and Harrison did only manage 1 goal involvement all last season and isn't an overly popular figure amongst the Everton fan base at the moment, and he isn't an overly popular figure at the Leeds United fan base right now either, so he's stuck very much between a rock and a hard place. No reports yet whether he was back in Leeds training yesterday. There was no photographs of Harrison doing the round, so we don't know if he's back at Elland Road just yet, but I don't think Leeds would stand in his way if a loan offer was to come out in order to try and increase his value and hopefully have a better season than last year, and then maybe sell him further down the line. There's still plenty of time to run on Jack Harrison's contract, and it remains to be seen what Leeds decide to do with him. But it's there's a split in the fan base, more against than for, but there are some for it as well, and Daniel Farke may want to have a look at him this summer before he decides to make a decision on Jack Harrison heading towards the back end of it and see what his attitude is like and see does he want to be around the place a little bit. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But as I always say, as soon as they stick a Leeds United shirt on them when the season starts, I give them my backing. We'll see what happens between now and then. Folks, that'll be it for me this morning. Back tonight with a podcast to have a little chat about everything that's going on with Paul from the Leeds Therapy. You can check that out at 7 o'clock tonight. Until then, I will see you, and I'm back tomorrow morning for more Leeds news as well, and what is being a pretty busy week, and hopefully we'll see a couple more deals get over the line in the next couple of days. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. See you. Bye.